Hello again. So I got to thinking about all this, and I imagine there's questions out there as to why I'm doing these videos, and it's kind of boils down to I've been wanting to do this for a while, um, and recently it's just really stuck under my skin that when pointing out the law and what our commissioners should be adhering to. It's just I mean that's the reason I decided to run this year. Had if they were following the law and doing what they're supposed to do, I probably wouldn't be running. But I just think that we need to get some like-minded people in there to try affect the law, make sure that we're following it, and get it all right, and then especially start planning for 9 years from now, 2034, when this assessment ends, which they haven't, and they've had 4 years. Our new commissioners has had 4 years to do planning, and they haven't done it. Um, so simple. Since the lawsuit was filed in 2018, or actually even before the lawsuit was filed, a group of us got together and we formed under the name Watchdog, or Cherokee Village SID, Suburban Improvement District Watchdogs. And I still run that page because we started our Facebook page because we were getting censored on other sites. While the other side of the coin, or the other side of the argument, got full free reign, telling everybody that we were lying and spreading misinformation. So we created the Watchdog Group's Facebook page and started, you know, posting what we were seeing. The difference between them and us so far, even to date, 7 years later, I think it is we post documents to prove what we're saying. I've yet to see them quote law that saying I was wrong or we were wrong, or so on and so forth. Um, so yeah, so the 28th or August 18th, I think it was, 2025 SID meeting. A commissioner took. I'm gonna go ahead and switch pages here. A commissioner had taken. Um, what I was saying, or a post I'd put on there, and used it as a rebuttal in a public meeting. She spent probably 15 minutes trying to cut down what I was saying, but none of it gave no documents to prove her points or where I was wrong. Um, so we formed. I say we. It's not just me. There's several others. I tend to not care for what are they going to do to me, and there are worries that that would happen if people speak out. So there's some quiet people behind the scenes, um, and the fact that we go to meetings, or people go to meetings, and they point out deficiencies, or if they're questioning our current commissioners or GM, we get those people. You know, they did this, or those, we don't want those people getting on the board, or we don't want those people to be on a committee, or we don't. It's stupid. Um, yeah, we are those people that were behind the lawsuit, the class action lawsuit for an illegal exaction. Um, but no one has proven with law or documents that what was determined out of in the end run of the lawsuit was legal and right for them to do. The lawsuit and the settlement, the documents we had proved that what was happening, was against the law. And there's an individual that attacks me constantly out there that tries to bring into question my um, I mean, my reputation. He tries to degrade it, and it's simple. I don't care. I mean, it's because he can't provide legal background or legal grounds for his argument. He's wrong. He knows it, and the only thing he can do is attack me. So, and that's the same with some of the commissioners and our GM. I know there's no love lost there, but all we want, and it's not we're here to break the community or tear it apart. All we want is for our government to operate within the law, to assess every piece of property or parcel within the district and levy that tax on said properties. So So because we get ridiculed or snide comments or snide remarks or the facial expressions when we try to bring these issues to the commission, we're getting swept under the rug. That's why we post on Facebook. That's why we use the media or mediums or social media to get our points across or issues that we're having, is because they won't listen to us. And if we get it out there and people start asking questions, then, and it's not just coming from us anymore, then they have to listen. So they've had 4 years since the settlement happened, and we elected our first 3 commissioners to come up with a long and short-term plan. They knew that in 2034, just 9 years from now, that the assessment that we're currently under goes away, and that assessment's roughly $27 million. We need to stop these lawsuits. We're averaging 1.25 lawsuit per year as an average, with one that we're not sure if it's going to be a lawsuit or not, and that's over the irrigation rights, which I guess they don't read Arkansas state riparian laws, which Arkansas state law says they can. So is our general manager going to push for another lawsuit, thus costing us even more attorney fees that could be used elsewhere? So time's short. So I'm using the following. This came out of the August 18th meeting. Our GM had put out a question answer sheet for those in participating at the meeting, and I'll show you where it's a prime example that they're not following the laws, and apparently our commissioners just either they're not following, they don't care, or they just can't understand. But here we go. And this is all why I'm doing these videos. So this was put out at the August 18th meeting for everybody to take when they signed in. And it says we collect monthly from Sharp and Fulton County Courthouse the quick claim limited warranty deeds and warranty deeds and redemption deeds applied to our office. So she's kind of explaining what I'm going to go into here by, she goes on and says the limited warranty deeds that we see are used usually from purchases from the COSL. They might be from other auctions or post-auction sales. And that's true because, she says right there, we collect deeds monthly from Sharp and Fulton County. So every month, a piece of property sold or redeemed or comes from COSL or from person-to-person sale, county sends them a copy of the deeds or the deeds. So she goes on and says all deeds received are recorded in our software system with the new ownership. So she's doing right. That's right. So if you read the law, it says the county clerk will provide the Suburban Improvement District with a copy of their records or their accounting. So she's right there. Now she goes on and says each parcel is verified with the county system. Oh, well, I mean, if you're getting it from the county, then yeah, it should be to assure that the assessments are active. If not, we email the assessor's office each month with the assessment information to turn on the parcel for the next tax bill. December 15th is the deadline per Act 359 from 2021. So, one, they shouldn't be the general manager or said commissioners, whatever, shouldn't be turning on and off parcels for collection or not. If you read the law, and I think that law is 1492-230, extension and collection of taxes, it actually outlines the county assessors and county clerks' roles in collecting our taxes. And it's them that they should have, every lot should be turned on, every parcel should be turned on to begin with, number one. And it stays on, and the county collectors continues to send out tax bills and collection notices or whatever, delinquent notices, until that property has paid its assessment off. And it states that very clearly in the law. SID doesn't. Once SID put out the assessment back in 1950 or 19 whatever, our creation date, then SID has nothing to do. All they do each year, December 15th, as she said, is report the equalized, per the law, equalized assessment and levy a tax. That's all they do each year. And they equalize their assessment off of what SID or the county clerks give them, the county tax collector gives them. So, with the settlement of 2021 for the class action suit, the settlement had every parcel that was created or under in SID or every parcel within our boundaries that was included during the creation of our SID. It had that in the assessment of benefit of roughly $27 million. So in 2021, the assessor's office and the tax clerk should have received our assessment of benefit, or per the lawsuit, and every one of those lots should have been turned on, every one, with the exception of those that went in and paid off their assessment after the settlement. But every lot should have been on. So how did those get turned off in the first place? And if she went in on behalf of the commissioners and turned them off the following year or what have you, then or emailed them like she says, she shouldn't be emailing them. Once the equalized assessment is in place, she should be not telling them, who's on, who's off. Again, they all should be turned on. So she's wrong there. They're wrong there. Commissioners are just as responsible because they should know. And then the other thing she had said is that the assessment was based on 2021. Well, it is based on 2021 appraised value. We need to make sure that our assessor and tax clerk is using that year's assessment or property assessment as the number in our formula to come at our assessment of benefits. If it's not, it needs to be fixed. Also, I had mentioned that our current assessment started in 2019, not 2021, as she is saying. Apparently, she can't, understand the settlement. Apparently, the commissioners, because they're responsible, haven't truly understood this, which means our payoff for the assessment is in 2034, not 2037 or whatever it is. So we lost a couple years there, folks. So she goes on in this document and says SID funds are collected from the assessor's office. That's correct. That per that law I just quoted, 1492-230. You look under there, 232 and 233. It all explains very clearly in black and white that the collector is to enforce the payment of taxes, our SID taxes. They collect those, and to send out notice of delinquencies. Our SID should not be doing any of that. It's time that I think our GM or our office staff, whoever's doing that, could be used elsewhere. But anyways, hey, they're just, again, there's the law for you. We are statutory that the collector is who collects our taxes, not the GM, not SID, not the commissioners. It also says, goes on and says assessments are billed each year, generally before March 1st, through the county assessor's office. You are correct. They gather information from our office each month, January through December 15th, turning on, in quotations, here we go. Hey, she doesn't do that. They all should be on. New owners and turning off anyone who has paid assessments in full. They kind of got that right, but the assessor would know, and the tax collector would know if that tax has been paid off or that assessment has been paid off on that piece of property, because they're the ones that's supposed to be keeping the books and then supplying us with a copy. So the only thing I guess they should be looking at is whether or not there's an error and letting the assessors know. But there'd only be an error if the assessor supplies once a year a copy of the records of who's paid, who's not, what's delinquent. And I might mention too that it also states that the collector, county collector, is supposed to certify any past due or delinquent assessment, levy of tax that's not been paid to SID. So they're just certifying that back to us to whether or not we decide to foreclose or not. So turning on and turning off is in black and white evidence here that she says she does is actually against the law. And if county's not fulfilling these functions, then we need to make sure that they do. They collect assessments with the taxes paid and cut a check to our office each month with a detailed list of which partial payments to apply. And that is correct. But again, that's their job. Their books will show what partials have payments that apply. And when we get that yearly dump from county, that dump of data from county, that's how we apply it in our books. So she goes on and says delinquent notices are only sent to those owners who are redeeming their properties. Wow. Okay. Well, if you read the law, 1492, 230, 232, and here's the one that covers that, 1492, 233, notice of delinquency. That's done by the county clerk, not a general manager, not the office staff, and not the commissioners. Again, obviously, none of them understand or want to read the law. She goes on and provides. She goes on and says new owners purchasing through COSL will be responsible to pay their assessments beginning the following year of purchase. Wrong. Incorrect. I just went to a tax sale from COSL, and they specifically said that the purchaser it's their duty to research and see if there's anything that's on a hindrance on that property. So and if you read the law, 1492, 230, it says that the collector is to collect the SID tax prior to any ad valorem taxes. So with the collector's books, if they're doing it correctly, they should be sending a delinquent notice to the new owner with the amount of back SID taxes owed on it. So they're the ones that takes care of all this. And no, it doesn't happen at the beginning of the year. You go in to assess or to transfer your property over, the assessor should have in there on that assessment, should show all the back SID taxes. And before you can bring the ad valorem taxes current, you have to you got to pay that SID tax. At this Commissioner of State Land sale yesterday, they specifically said that there could be a penalty for a late payment of last year's ad valorem taxes, because it takes about a month for them to get those new limited warranty deeds out to the new owners and to the counties. So that assessor and county clerk should immediately, if they're going to apply penalty taxes, then they should immediately be putting saying, hey, you owe back SID taxes, and we can't pay your ad valorem until you pay your SID. That's how it works, folks. Read the law. They need to read the law, and they need to understand it. So if you and then she goes on so that first example is wrong. As soon as the county clerk and assessor gets a notification from Commissioner of State Lands, they should see an immediate delinquency of SID tax on there, and that should be included into any kind of penalties or statements they send out to the new owners. Again, county's taking care of all these notices, not SID. So she goes on and says, if you purchase your property in mid-December of 2024, you won't be billed until March of 2002. I'm guessing she's saying 2025. I don't know. That's my guess, but that's wrong. You purchase a property anytime during the year. If there's any delinquent ad valorem, which is a year behind, or delinquent SID, again, you should get notified immediately by county. So here's my beef, and here's our beef, or a lot of us, is, because I'm not alone, is there's the laws that I've just quoted, and there's an Attorney General opinion out there, 2003-122. And this was Bear Cliff Improvement District, asking if they can waive delinquent assessments on lands which have gone back to the state, or Commissioner of State Land. And it also refers to an AG opinion in this of 2002-063, which states a suburban improvement district is statutorily authorized local taxing unit. There's that word tax. It doesn't say local feeing unit. It says local taxing unit. ACA 1492-220C and 228, which was repealed or replaced in 98. Moreover, the Arkansas Supreme Court, the top law people in our state, noted that Quapaw Central Business Improvement District versus Bond Kinman Incorporated, 315 Arkansas, 703, 706, 807, and so on, 94. Improvement districts are agents of the state and derive their limited powers and duties of a public nature by legislative delegation through the taxing power of the state, and constitutes a separate and distinct species of taxing districts as from counties, municipalities, corporations, school districts. Further, there's a wealth of case law acknowledging the agency status of improvement districts as governmental in nature. And it goes on. It goes. Hang on, why that's jumping. There we go. So, and it goes on, it says, I assume that statutory procedure for which the Mayor of Bear Cliff is referred to in describing lands which have gone back to the state. In the attached Arkansas opinion, this is the second one I was mentioning, this is 2001, 266, which he fully concurred with. He goes, with respect to priority of municipal improvement district liens for assessments, ACA 1498-05 provides in pertinent part as general manner delinquent assessments. So that this is why I've pulled these Attorney General opinions out, because it addresses delinquent assessments and how how it's all done. But in a suburban improvement districts are certified to the state, to the Commissioner of State Lands, unless the district has chosen to force collect by chancellery proceedings pursuant 1492-232C, in which case ACA 1492-122 will govern the procedural requirements. However, 1492-601 through 603 must also be considered in regards. These sections apply to eligibles in suburban improvement districts organized, here's the key, and existing pursuant to the provisions of 1492-201, with the area of not less than 5,000 acres and not more than 7,000 acres. ACA 1492-601, such districts may collect their own assessments. And this is where I talked about in other videos that the smaller districts can elect to collect their taxes themselves. But we're not one of those. We're mandatory, statutory collection of. Well, this thing's jumping again. Collecting their own taxes. We're mandatory. We're statutory that we have to collect. So it goes on and says an assessment shall be charged and a lien against all. Here's that. Remember, it's right here. It says all the real property in a municipal district. And I know I said a municipal district, and that's what it says. We're not a municipal district, but that sets a precedence for ours, that all real property should be collected on. The lien shall, and here's the other part that applies or gives relevance. Lien shall continue until the local assessment, including any penalties and costs that may occur thereon, shall be paid. And then he goes on, applying the principles to road improvement districts, special assessments, the Arkansas Supreme Court, and this would apply to us. Their summation was a tax so levied shall be a lien upon all. Even the Supreme Court says all real property in the district from the same time it's levied by the county court, and shall be entered to preference over all demands, executions, encumbrances, or liens whatsoever created, and shall continue until the assessment with penalties and costs that may occur thereon have been paid. So there is no turning on or turning off. Right here our Supreme Court says shall continue. So again, I don't get how they can just decide they don't have to follow law. Turley versus St. Francis County Road Improvement District number 4, and this would apply to us. Although the court acknowledged that the statutory language, all demands, executions, encumbrance, liens, and waivers whatsoever created, did not refer to the state's paramount tax lien, it did declare that pursuant to the statute, the special tax, that's us, of an improvement district shall continue until fully paid and are not extinguished. Right there. Shall continue means it doesn't stop. So why are we turning off? Again, which, I mean, that's not Sid's, yeah, anyways. So if you guys want, right there's the link to it. You can pause the video and pull it up and read it yourself. I'm sorry for going down that rabbit hole. My dog chasing. But anyways, we'll get back on track. This all just shows how they're not following a simple law. This one, I don't see how we're off this bad to be doing this stuff. You know, again, here this example, it just blows me away. And we try to bring this information to them, and we get shunned. It's just simple. Would save a lot of problems and headaches, and actually generate more revenue for SID, because there's properties out there that are active and we're not charging the proper rate. So what the AG opinion supports what I am, informed the commissioners on the August 18th meeting, that they should be charging all properties. And I think I'd have to go back and listen to the video, but I think I said that the settlement, the class action settlement, included all properties, not just some or whatever. So we basically, the court has affirmed the assessment of benefits that came from the 2018 settlement, class action lawsuit settlement. So that would basically start us over. And that settlement included, if you figure up the numbers, it included all 25,362 lots within our Cherokee Village SID. And I even, I provided them with the code, 1492-228, and I gave them a copy of what I was trying to get across to them. I brought up that there was, at least over 600 parcels that we found in Fulton County so far, and there's more now since that time period that we found that are paying a greatly reduced tax each year. We're talking like $20, and we got people out there paying $740 and $340 and each year, and these guys are getting off either $20 or whatever, and in a lot of cases none of them are being assessed, so we're losing money. It just kind of clarifies that either they don't know what they're doing, they don't care about it. They're kicking a can down the road because the original three that we elected is coming up for election, and they don't care. They're not going to run again. They got to be in power and the big man on the totem pole, and they've neglected in planning for this end of assessment, and they've neglected making sure that we're complying with the laws that affect us, that govern us. If there's an issue with this county assessor or collector, why haven't they corrected that issue? All this leads to us losing money each year that we haven't been collecting or don't collect when it comes, like the change of hands from Commissioner of State Lands or redemption or person-to-person sales. If there's any back taxes, the county should be trying to collect those. And you can't get a clear title until those assessments are taken care of. So if you buy a piece of property in Cherokee Village, and that lot or that property had the assessment turned on per the 2018 class action lawsuit settlement, there's a cloud above your property. I hate to say it, but go talk to a property attorney about that. And of course, the Supreme Court of Arkansas states that once it's been levied, hey guys, guess what? You can't turn it off. So there should be no turning on. The 21 assessment or 21 settlement backdates to 2019, and because the plaintiffs weren't going to give SID 2 years free taxes that they collected, that was based off the 2018 reassessment. They made that to where, okay, if a property paid over, they should have a credit, those funds should go into the reimbursement fund, overpayment fund. So, anyways, guys, I'm just saying, I'm trying to put out here, you know, there are things to be concerned about. The lack of planning for the end of assessment payoff in 2034. The inability. Sorry about that. The inability to even follow simple law or read the law, and if they're getting, I think maybe we need to look at our representation. If you know, the same representation that advised our general manager to violate Arkansas open meeting FOIA laws, you know. I have questions about that, but you know. So, at any rate, that's kind of why we've got these videos, or I'm doing these videos, and there's listings of two of the Attorney General opinions at the bottom there. Of course, as always, my name and information's out there. Feel free to email me, call, text, even PM me on Facebook. But if you have questions, I'm glad to answer them the best I can. Again, I'm no attorney, but I spend time reading over this and reading the references that go along with it. So, at any rate, this is why the videos are being done and out there. And yes, of course, I am running for SIG commissioner. But these are things that the new commissioners need to be looking at. So with that, y'all have a blessed day. God bless, and we'll see you again.